The Marvel Cinematic Universe is famous for its interconnected storytelling. Every character, every event, it all feels like part of a grand plan. But what about the characters who weren't just a piece of the puzzle? What about the ones who showed up, dropped the mic, and were never seen again? They arrived, changed the MCU forever, and then vanished. From Hela's personal executioner to the mind behind the super soldier serum, we're diving into what happened to these forgotten heavy hitters. These are the figures who made a massive impact in a single appearance, only to disappear, leaving behind a legacy of power and a ton of unanswered questions. In a universe where death can feel like a revolving door, some exits are shockingly permanent. That brings us to Pietro Maximoff, also known as Quicksilver, the speedster who ran into the MCU and right back out in the same movie, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Pietro and his sister Wanda started out as villains, teaming up with Ultron to get revenge on Tony Stark. But when they saw Ultron's true plan, they switched sides. Pietro's hit was his final heroic act. He shielded Hawkeye and a child from a spray of bullets, dying instantly. As he might say, you didn't see that coming. His death was a real shock. Killing off a new hero in their first movie was a bold move, and unlike so many others, it stuck. His absence became his true power in the MCU. Pietro's death was the trauma that fueled Wanda Maximoff's entire journey, sending her down a dark path of grief that shaped multiple movies and shows. He's the rare character whose death ended up being more impactful than his life. Next up is a character who didn't just make an impact. She made an entrance by shattering one of the most iconic weapons in the MCU. In Thor: Ragnarok, Cate Blanchett's Hela, the goddess of death, appears as Odin's firstborn, a dark secret he buried to hide Asgard's bloody past. Her hit was a masterclass in destruction. Within minutes, she crushed Mjolnir with one hand, wiped out the Warriors 3, and took over Asgard. She was so powerful that Thor's only move wasn't to beat her, but to trigger an even bigger disaster, Surtur, and destroy their entire planet just to stop her. And then, poof, she was gone. Hela was last seen getting swallowed by Surtur's giant fire sword as Asgard blew up. But for a character called the Goddess of Death, her end felt ambiguous. Fan theories, often drawing from the comics, speculate that her power was tied to the physical location of Asgard, but the film leaves it open to interpretation. Is she really dead? Or just trapped somewhere, waiting for another shot? Her one appearance was so commanding that she's still one of the most feared villains in the saga. Also from Thor: Ragnarok, we have a character with one of the most surprisingly complete and satisfying arcs in the whole MCU. When we first meet Scourge, played by Karl Urban, he's basically just a guy trying to get by, replacing Heimdall as the Bifrost Keeper and collecting cool junk from Earth. When Hela shows up, he joins her to save his own skin, becoming her very reluctant executioner. For most of the movie, he's comic relief, a guy way in over his head. But his big moment, his hit, comes in the film's final, desperate minutes. With the Asgardian refugees trapped, Scourge makes a choice. He jumps off the escape ship, armed with 2 assault rifles he nicknamed Des and Troy. In a blaze of glory, he holds off Hela's army of the dead, sacrificing himself so his people could escape. It's a perfect, self-contained redemption story. Scourge goes from a self-serving opportunist to a hero who dies for Asgard. It's such a solid ending that even Karl Urban has said he's happy with where the character landed. He's a one-hit wonder, not because he was forgettable, but because his story was told so perfectly that it didn't need anything else. Some villains are memorable for their grand plans, but others are defined by the chaos they unleash. In 2016's Doctor Strange, we met Caecilius, a former student of the Ancient One who broke away after feeling betrayed by her hypocrisy. Played by Mads Mikkelsen, he was a sorcerer obsessed with overcoming death, and he found his answer in the forbidden texts and a pact with Dormammu of the Dark Dimension. His hit was twofold. First, he was powerful and ruthless enough to murder the Ancient One, forcing an unprepared Doctor Strange to step up as Earth's primary magical defender. Second, his actions directly led to one of the most creative final battles in the MCU. Strange couldn't overpower Caecilius or his master, so he used the Time Stone to trap the all-powerful Dormammu in a time loop, forcing a bargain. But that bargain came at a cost for Caecilius. As part of the deal, Dormammu dragged his followers into the Dark Dimension, where they were transformed into mindless ones, doomed to an eternity of suffering. It's a fate worse than death, and a chilling end for a villain who, in his own mind, was trying to save humanity from the pain of loss. Some one-hit wonders are defined by just how much wasted potential they represent. And no one fits that bill better than Dr. Helen Cho from Avengers: Age of Ultron. Played by Claudia Kim, Dr. Cho was a world-class geneticist and an ally to the Avengers. Her signature hit was the Regeneration Cradle, a piece of tech so advanced it could literally regrow organic tissue. But its real power was shown when Ultron stole it. Her technology was the foundation for the synthetic, vibranium-laced body that would eventually become Vision. That's right, without her work, one of the most powerful Avengers wouldn't even exist. So what happened to this genius? After being freed from Ultron's control, she was last seen taking a job at the new Avengers facility. She was right there, a scientist with world-changing technology at her fingertips, and then nothing. She's never mentioned again. Not in Civil War, Infinity War, or Endgame. Was she a victim of the snap? Did she quit over the Sokovia Accords? The silence is baffling, making Dr. Cho one of the MCU's biggest dropped threads. Next, we have a villain so compelling and grounded that his disappearance feels less like an ending and more like a missed opportunity. I'm talking about Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, from Spider-Man: Homecoming. Michael Keaton's Vulture wasn't a god or a madman. He was a blue-collar guy pushed to the edge by the collateral damage of the Avengers' battles. His first hit was that masterful twist, the moment Peter Parker shows up for his prom date and finds his nemesis on the other side of the door. But his bigger moment came after his defeat. In prison, he runs into Mac Gargan, the future Scorpion, who heard Toomes knows who Spider-Man is. Instead of giving Peter up, Toomes lies, protecting the very kid who put him there. That scene was the perfect setup for a future conflict, but Toomes was left in prison in the MCU. A bizarre cameo in Sony's Morbius only made his absence more confusing. The post-credits scene of Homecoming set up Mac Gargan's desire for revenge as the Scorpion, and with a fourth Spider-Man film in development, fans are eager to see if Vulture will return to finally pay off that tantalizing setup. As it stands, he's a one-hit wonder whose story felt like it was just getting started. Leadership is a heavy burden, and no one-hit wonder carried that weight better than Ajak, the Prime Eternal. Portrayed by Salma Hayek in Eternals, she was the wise, spiritual leader of the team, capable of healing and acting as the sole bridge of communication to their creator, the Celestial Arishem. Her hit was a quiet rebellion that saved the world. After 7,000 years of watching humanity grow, she decided they were worth saving from the emergence, the birth of a new Celestial that would destroy the planet. She chose Cersei as her successor, hoping she would share her newfound conviction and stop the apocalypse. This decision was her death sentence. Ikaris, still loyal to the mission, led her to a pack of deviants, resulting in her death. Her death is the central mystery that kicks off the film's entire plot. It forces the scattered Eternals to reunite and confront the truth of their mission, creating a deep ideological rift within their family. Ajak's one appearance was defined by a single, powerful choice: to defy a god for the sake of humanity. Her faith in people became her legacy, a more powerful act than any cosmic energy blast. Finally, in 2011's Captain America, the first Avenger, we meet Dr. Abraham Erskine, the scientist who fled Germany with the key to winning World War II locked in his head: the super soldier serum. But Erskine wasn't just some lab coat. He was the moral compass of the entire program. He knew that real strength wasn't about muscles, but about character. He looked right past Steve Rogers' skinny frame and saw the heart of a hero, giving him that iconic advice: whatever happens, stay who you are. Not a perfect soldier, but a good man. His formula didn't create a superhero. It just turned up the volume on the goodness that was already there. And that was his one and only hit. Right after the experiment worked, Erskine was assassinated by a Hydra agent, and the perfect formula was lost forever. Every attempt to recreate his serum after that was a disaster, leading to flawed, unstable, or monstrous results, from the Red Skull to the Winter Soldier program. His single act created the first Avenger and set a standard for heroism that no one else has ever quite managed to replicate. He's the ultimate one-hit wonder because his sole contribution defined a hero, and his death sparked decades of conflict as everyone scrambled to catch his lightning in a bottle again. From the man who created a hero to the goddess who destroyed a world, these one-hit wonders prove you don't need a trilogy to leave a permanent mark on the MCU. They're the living proof that sometimes one perfect story is all you need. But what do you think? Who is your favorite one-hit wonder that we didn't mention? Was it a hero who made the ultimate sacrifice? or a villain you wish had gotten away with it? Let us know your picks in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into everything Marvel. Thanks for watching.